putting up with it.
And we're done with this. I mean, this is not, it can't happen anymore. And so thank you for pointing this out to us.
With just days left in the legislative session, the budget is not the only concern. Lawmakers are also scrambling to introduce reforms in the wake of a KARE 11 investigation. Our team exposed significant fraud concerns in a $100 million a year housing program. Here's AJ Legault with the latest developments in Housing Hustle, a Recovery Inc. investigation.
So you uncovered once again something that we should, as a system, been on top of.
Usually, at Minnesota's capital, you don't find Republicans and Democrats in lockstep. Usually.
And some people get actually come to harm or even die because of this kind of fraud.
And that's what it's all about. It's that life and death. And here we are, the most vulnerable people, the poorest of the poor, people with disabilities and our elderly. Somebody is taking totally advantage of that.
Minnesota Senators, Democrat John Hoffman and Republican Jim Abler, responding to KARE 11's investigation that exposed fraud allegations in a state-run Medicaid program to help the elderly and people with disabilities find and maintain housing.
I never met with them. I've never even seen them.
Stephen Smith and his girlfriend Rachel Lean
billing $2,000, $600.
Say they had thousands of dollars billed to Medicaid without their knowledge.
I mean, it goes on and on and on.
By Leo Human Services, a for-profit company.
Why are thousands of dollars being billed to Medicaid?
These are not the correct line of questions. I'm not being asked the correct line of questions.
You're the person who's running this company, correct?
Well, yeah, I'm overseeing it. Yeah, most of it, yeah.
Assad Adow ultimately drove away in his BMW without explaining what he thought KARE 11 should be asking him about. The Minnesota Department of Human Services says there are official investigations now open into Leo Human and multiple other housing stabilization providers KARE 11's looking into. Lawmakers say DHS needs to cut off funding immediately.
And they have a duty. And so they need to know there, when they see somebody with their hand in their cookie jar, that they don't get to keep it and they quit taking away the chance to get at the candy jar.
The candy jar, in this case, the HSS program, ballooned last year, costing taxpayers close to $100 million.
You know what I could do with $100 million? You know, we could actually...
You could house every homeless person in the state.
Yes, you could, Jen.
The senators say reform must happen before the legislative session ends.
You've only got what? We got a week left from when we're sitting here?
We're going to have something. We will.
It needs to be done?
Yes, needs to be done.
Absolutely.
What the senators, who are leaders on a key human services committee, are proposing is mandating only nonprofits can bill Medicaid for the housing program, cutting off for-profit companies completely.
I'm glad there seems to be some urgency. It's so frustrating. There's so many people with real needs. To know that this money is being scammed is so frustrating.
That's part of what had the senators so upset. Is they're tasked with cutting almost $1 billion from the human services budget that would go to things like nursing homes and group homes that are desperately needed in our state, and then they're seeing money going out the door this way.
All right, great work once again. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you.